Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight within corporate filings. Today we're diving into Terra Innovatum Global NV's latest report, and let's just say it is not all sunshine and rainbows in the Netherlands. Before we jump in, if you are all about getting the real story behind the numbers, make sure you are subscribed, and hey, join our Discord community for more in-depth discussions. The link is in the description. So Terra Innovatum Global NV, a company with a name that sounds like it is ready to conquer the world, has just filed its Form 8K. This is their current report, and it is usually filed when something pretty significant happens. What has got our attention today is how they've presented their financial results for the quarter ending the 30th of September, 2025. They've also included details about a conference call and a webcast where management discussed these results and other business updates. It sounds like a pretty standard corporate event, but let's see if the numbers tell a different story. First off, it is good to see they're registered on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC, trading under the symbol NKLR. That means they're a publicly traded company, and these reports are crucial windows into their health. They're also identifying as an emerging growth company, which gives them some flexibility in how they adopt new accounting standards. This is pretty common for newer or smaller companies, allowing them to ease into stricter reporting requirements. Now, let's get to why most of you are here, the financials. The company put out a press release on the 17th of November 2025 about their third quarter financial results. On the same day, they had a conference call and webcast to go over these numbers. They've attached the press release and the script of the conference call as exhibits to this filing. Usually, these reports are just for informational purposes, meaning they aren't officially considered filed with the SEC. This is important because it means they're not under the same strict liability as directly filed documents. Think of it as a company giving you a heads up about their performance, but they have a bit more wiggle room in how they present it. They've also included an earnings presentation as Exhibit 99.3. This is another piece of information that is being furnished, not filed. It is essentially supplementary material to help investors understand the company's performance and outlook. The key takeaway here is that any forward-looking information these documents contain is subject to inherent risks and uncertainties. This is a standard disclaimer, basically telling investors that while the company might project future success, a lot of things can happen to change that reality. They're pointing to their past filings like their Form 10K and 10Q for a more detailed look at these potential risks. The report is signed by Alessandro Petruzzi, the Chief Executive Officer. This indicates that the company's leadership is aware of and stands by the information presented in this filing. A signature from the CEO lends a certain weight to these disclosures, showing accountability. Now let's talk about what this filing implies. When a company like Terra Innovatum Global NV files an 8K with financial results, it is usually a signal that they've reached a milestone or announcing something concrete. In this case, it is their quarterly earnings. The fact that they're providing a press release, a conference call script, and an earnings presentation suggests they want to communicate these results clearly to the market. As emerging growth companies, they're trying to build confidence and a clear picture of their trajectory. We don't have the actual financial tables from the press release or the earnings presentation directly in this HTML, which is a bummer because that's where the real juicy details are. Typically on Form 8K, the substantive financial information is presented as exhibits, like the press release or presentation mentioned here. Without those direct exhibits, we're piecing together the context. However, the very fact that they're holding a conference call and providing these materials means investors should be paying close attention. The key for us is to wait for the full exhibits to see the actual numbers. Are revenues soaring? Are expenses under control? Is their profit margin growing or shrinking? These are the questions we'd be asking if we had the full data. Given the limited financial data here, it is hard to do a deep dive into specific numbers like profit margins or revenue growth. However, the structure of the filing tells us they are adhering to reporting standards, providing timely updates. The forward-looking statement section is critical here. They are making it very clear that future projections are just that, projections. They're warning investors about risks, uncertainties, and factors that could make actual results differ significantly from what they hope or expect. This is responsible disclosure, but it also means we should be skeptical of any overly optimistic outlook without concrete, historical data to back it up, from what we can see. Terra Innovatum Global NV is a company that seems to be actively managing its communication with investors. They're using the standard channels to release financial information and are being upfront about the inherent risks associated with forward-looking statements. The fact that they are registered on Nasdaq means they are subject to the rules and regulations of that exchange, which generally promotes transparency. What is our take on Terra Innovatum Global NV based on this filing alone? Well, it is like getting a movie trailer without seeing the actual movie. We know a significant event has occurred, the release of their quarterly results, and they're providing the basic promotional materials. The company appears to be navigating the regulatory landscape correctly, identifying itself as an emerging company, and using appropriate disclosure methods for their financial updates. However, without the actual financial exhibits, it is impossible to assess the health of their operations, profitability, or growth strategy. The biggest takeaway is the importance of the exhibits they've attached. Those are where the real story lies. For now, we'll have to wait and see the details of their financial performance. Alright, that is our initial decoded look at Terra Innovatum Global NV's filing. What are your thoughts on navigating these initial reports? Do you think companies should always be required to file full financial tables directly with an 8K when announcing earnings? Drop your opinions in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth corporate analysis, and as always, join our growing community on Discord. The link is in the description. Thanks for decoding with us, and we'll see you in the next video.